I think in the West, people often use the term soul. Is that what you're talking about? Soul? Okay, please help me understand that.
I'm not talking about the soul.
Okay, good.
Okay. I'm talking about the mind.
Okay.
What is there between the body and the soul? How does the soul get connected to the world outside? What does the mind do? What is the function of the mind? The mind is a perception mechanism. A mind is a perception apparatus. A mind is an observation platform on which platform you perceive the outer world and its existence using the five senses as the first initial inputs. So you can say there is infinite data outside, infinite information outside in the world, but only what your eye can see, what your ear can hear, what your nose can smell, what your tongue can taste, what your skin can feel is what goes inside you as an input from the world of its data into your own mind. Your mind is a storehouse. Your mind is a memory device where all the experiences which are coming from the five senses are stored and are stored permanently. And all actions come out of these memories. All thoughts come from the mind. But the mind is formed out of memories. Memories come out of observation of data in the world outside. When I see a new plant, it gets impregnated in my mind as an image of that plant. That is a memory. Now, all that we are picking from outside is nothing but memories. And memories, when they interplay amongst themselves or even alone, they create thoughts. So mind is static. Mind is where thoughts are stored, where images are stored, where feelings are stored. But thought is a dynamic activity. And the thought, because it is dynamic, it is showing signs of life. It is showing signs of action. So the thoughts inside us turn into physical objects outside us in the world. It is only when I desire to have a car will I have a car outside parked in my garage. It is only when I desire to marry and find a girl for myself, I will actually look for girls, develop friendship or an arranged marriage with one, and then I will have a wife. So all action that you see out there in the world is originating in somebody's mind. It could be your mind, it could be your wife's mind, it could be your children's mind, it could be your parents' mind. So each one of us is generating thoughts inside us out of memories, which come from the five senses. And these thoughts in turn are creating the outer reality in which all of us are. This outer reality again comes back to us through the five senses, through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin. And again, they get sort of programmed, recorded, stored, along with the earlier memories. They connect with the earlier memories. So this time, the new thought which is coming in will be a combination of the old memory and the new memory. So the thought will always keep on coming. And thoughts are going to be random. Some thoughts can be positive thoughts. Some thoughts can be negative thoughts. So there will be three elements happening in your life. You can just look around and realize this. Anywhere you look, you will find something good about it. You will find something bad about it. And you will find that it is constantly changing. So this is the mind, the inner portion, which is helping the soul to look at the world outside through its apparatus of the mind. So soul is in connection with the mind is in connection with the world outside, and the world outside appears to the soul through the mind. But this mind creates distortions. So what the soul actually perceives is not the pure outside, but a distorted outside as presented to the soul by the mind inside. Now, this mind also constitutes the subtle body. It is subtle, it cannot be seen. So, the external world, the external body, all of them hang on to this subtle mind. Now, what are the components of the subtle mind? If I use terms from Sanskrit, our philosophy, I can call them buddhi, ahankar, manas, the five jnanendriyas, the five karmendriyas, and the five tanmatras. If I have to put them to you in English, I will say it comes from the universal mind, subconscious individual mind, conscious individual mind, the five sense organs, the five organs of action, and the five subtle elements which the mind creates. So all this in combo is called the subtle body. They are connected to each other. They exist in a subtle state without any form of physical matter. And they are eternal. They don't die. When you die, it is the outer world of Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash which goes away. Or in simpler English terms, it is the solid, liquid, gas, energy, and space in you which goes away. The rest remains. So this rest can be understood as a clothes hanger. You hang your shirt on a hanger. Without the hanger, you cannot hang your clothes. An artist, if he has to display his painting, he has to put some support to that painting so that it can stand. So, similarly, for this body, this gross body, this body made up of matter, this body made up of solid, liquid, gas elements, this body made up of energy, and this body made up of space is gross. It needs something to hang on to, something for support. And that something for support is the subtle body. In Sanskrit, it is called the Sukshma body. So I hope it gives you some sort of clarification, though I'm trying to go a bit in depth. I'm not sure how much of it you're picking up. So Sanju, if you tell me if it is understandable for you and for other like-minded people, then I'll continue at this level, or I will bring my talk 2-3 notches down.
It's very helpful. It's very helpful. And also, I think it's helpful, but also I think I think people hear words and they create their own meaning to those words and they get something out of them. Almost, if you're saying something from the heart that's complex, then people are going to get what they want to out of it. They also can listen to something a number of times. Somebody could also look up a definition of a couple of the Sanskrit terms that you've used that interests them, and that's what they're going to get out of it. So I think when we give and we talk about things, we all can get what we want out of what we say. So I'm enjoying what you're saying. But let me ask another question about this kind of clarification. Then, are you talking, when you talk about this kind of moksha or liberation that you've talked about, are you talking then about the liberation of the mind? Is that what you're actually referring to?
Okay.
I think I'm getting a bit confused or muddling up.
No, I will make it simple.
Thank you. Yeah.
I have understood your question. Can you look at this object? And can you tell me, Sanju, what is this? What do you see?
That's what phone looks like.
Yeah. So what do you see?
I just see a brown cover over something that I assume is a phone.
Fine. The question goes to each one of you out there. What do you see? Listen to my question very carefully. Listen to the words which I put out. What do you see? What do you look at? What are you observing? As an observer, what are you observing here? What are you seeing? What are you looking at? So Sanju replied. Sanju said, a mobile phone seems to be so. So I asked him, what are you seeing? He replied to me back in words. Okay, and the beginning of his question, he was talking about words. So you see, we don't see the reality as it is. We see the reality based on the words which are memorized by us, our memories. When in India, when a child goes to a preparatory school or nursery school, How do they teach the alphabets to the child? They say A, the alphabet A for apple. And then they show an image of an apple, right? They say this is an apple. And that baby of 2 years, 3 years identifies a sound, apple, with that image. So he's connecting what his ear is listening to, what his eyes are seeing. Right? And then if he knows that, then he's supposed to have learned it. He's supposed to have become knowledgeable. So all throughout life, we keep on learning new words about new facts, new observations. You know, when you look up at the sun, if I ask you, what do you see? You will say, I see a sun. You will say the word sun if you have learned English as a language. If you are born in India, you might say Surya Devta. I see the God in sun. And if you talk to a scientist, he will say, oh, it's just a star. Its name is ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4, something, he will tell you. So the same object, based on what words you have stored inside your head, this head, defines your reality. Our reality is based on what has been taught to us, what our school taught us, what our parents taught us, what our society has taught us, what my corporate life has taught us, what the markets outside have taught me, what my friends' relations have taught me. And all of us are using words. Words are supposed to be symbolic. The apple word is not the apple. It is a collection of sounds which is supposed to represent an apple. So the first layer of reality which you build up from school is based on something which inherently is defective. And then you start looking at the world with words. The same fact being looked by the same design of the eye should appear similar, same to 700 crore people on the planet. But we see it differently. And that is where conflict arises. And then we start fighting. We are actually fighting over words. We are actually fighting over our memories. We are actually fighting over what the world has taught us, told us. We are not looking at it the way we are designed to look at it. So Sanju answered this question with his mind. He went back into his memory cells, roamed around a few lanes, and he remembered, oh, this is a phone. Then he remembered the color, brown. Some civilization might have never seen the color brown, so brown does not exist for them. But Sanju has seen brown. Sanju has been told in his school, in his class, by his teacher somewhere on the line, that this is brown. So Sanju has identified that so-called color, which the eye is seeing as brown, and stored that word brown inside his head. And then he's also stored the word film, because he sees people moving around calling it film. So he too thinks that is right. He calls it a brown film. So two memories come together and create a thought. And the thought is, I see a brown phone. But seeing, the activity of seeing is done by the eye. But we are actually not seeing from the eye. We are seeing from the eye and the mind. So that is where the first level of confusion starts, first level of conflict starts. Ideally, all of us should be able to look at an object in the same manner. But we are unable to do so because we have different minds. And we have a variety of minds. We have an individual conscious mind. So all our conscious minds are individual in nature, they're unique. No two human minds in the conscious domain will operate the same way. Then we have the individual subconscious mind. No two individual subconscious minds on the planet will be having the same data store. Each data store is unique. But from where does the individual subconscious mind come from? It comes from the universal mind. This whole universe, this whole cosmos has a mind, which is common to all of us. There are ways to access that mind. There are ways to reach that mind. There are techniques, protocols, modalities to reach that mind. Then the next question which logically comes is, where does the universal mind come from? The universal mind comes from the infinite mind. We do not know how many universes are there. Universe means uni, one. Universe means a state, some form of intelligent knowledge passed on in the form of few sentences. So there could be a multiverse. And if I have a body which dies, I have a subtle body which does not die, then I have a mind, the universal mind, which does not die. And this universal mind is coming from the infinite mind. And that infinite mind is also forever. And then there is another mind beyond the infinite mind, where there is no mind, where you are purely a witness. You don't see the differentiation because the mind is gone. There's no mind. You are merely a pure, 100% pure observer. You are seeing things as they are, as it is. So there is nothing good about the picture, there's nothing bad about the picture, there's nothing changing about the picture. A person who reaches a stage of no mind cannot differentiate between good and the bad and the change. He has come about that. So it all depends. Where is your consciousness operating from? Is your consciousness in the infinite mind? Then you see a different world. If your consciousness is operating from the universal mind, then the world takes on a different shape. If your consciousness is operating from the subconscious mind, your world changes again. If your mind is operating, or rather, if your consciousness is operating from the conscious mind, your reality is different. So we are creating our reality, number one, based on our memories. And we are creating our reality based on what level of mind we are operating from. And third, can there be a method by which I can shift my mind? Shift my mind from the conscious to the universal, to the infinite, to the no mind? Or if the need arises to come down from the no mind to the individual subconscious mind and to this physical world outside? Yes, it can be done. There are methods, there are protocols, there are modalities. So reality is not what you are seeing out there. You are seeing the reality out there based on words. Words have spellings. Words cast spell. They cast a spell on you, a magical spell. So depending on the meaning you know of that word, corresponding will be your reality of the world. So the word and the world are in a way synonymous. Your word creates your world. That is why in the Bible they say the creation came from the word. So if you can analyze sort of a diagnostic test on the words which you have in your mind, you can easily for yourself foresee your future. So if you want to do a surgery on your mind, to make it a better mind, to make it the best mind on the planet, all you need to do is look at each and every word and check whether it is giving you an empowerment or whether it is disempowering you. If it is empowering you, hold that word. If it is disempowering you, delete that word. As simple as that. So if you want to become the richest man on the planet, you need to have the right kind of words inside your head. What's the difference between Bill Gates and me? I'm sitting in a small place in Kolkata. He is one of the top shots of this world. But he also has a single head the way I have. He also has 2 ears the way I have. I'll just show them to you. You know, there's 1 ear here and another ear here. He has 2 eyes. You can check in this photograph. I also have 2 eyes. He has a nose. I also have a nose. He has a mouth. I also have a mouth. I have a tongue inside. See. Can you see the tongue? You also have the same tongue. Bill Gates also has the same tongue. But why is he Bill Gates? And why am I Sanjay Mansukhani? Because his mind is in a senior position. The mind is occupying one of the highest ranks possible. So his influence is global. My influence is local. All of us have the same design. We have stamped them differently. We have given them identities to something which is common, which is universal. We have segregated them into infinitely different individuals. I am named Sanjay. My father's name is Bhagwan. My family name is Mansukhani. I am a Sindhi. I am an Indian. I am a male. All these identifications have been given by my parents, my society. Nobody asked me at birth, did I want to be a Hindu? Nobody asked me. And I'm Hindu. I'm fighting for the cause of Hindus. I'm carrying that flag everywhere I go. And I might be saying, "Dad se kaho main Hindu hu." That Egypt does not know. We did not choose it. He's believing in something. He's a fanatic about something which has been sort of foisted on him, silently put inside his pocket. And he thinks this is the most valuable thing he has. So words can create a nation, words can destroy a nation. Words can bring paradise on earth, words can bring hell on earth. And we are not together. Sanju initially asked me a question, we are together. No, we are not together. I have come onto this planet as per my time. I will leave this planet as per my time. And whatever reality I am seeing is coming because I have this head. I have these 5 sense organs. So the world outside is not being created by the world outside. I am creating it. Same sweet or same eatable. I might not like it. My friend might like it. So I created my reality of not liking it. He created his reality of liking it. So this is a simple myth that we are together. No, we are not together. If I close my eyes, you disappear. You close your eyes and see, am I visible? Can you call yourself a we? You are not a we. You are an individual. You have come alone, you will go alone. You have an individual conscious mind. And you have an individual subconscious mind. So as long as you are operating out of these 2 minds, the individual conscious and the individual subconscious, you will be in a world which is 100% differentiated model. But the moment you start going up on the minds, start approaching the higher minds, you reach the universal mind stage, your thinking will change. You will talk of universal brotherhood. You will live by the principles of universal love. You will have oneness in your heart. You will see the totality of things. So we comes there. So when all of us reach that universal mind stage, then that universal mind is common to each one of us. Then we can say the we word. Because there is something truly common. Today I am living in my world. There's nothing common of my world with Sanju's world. Absolutely nothing. 2 worlds sometimes meet and they part. But that does not mean there's only one world. As many people are there on the planet, there are as many worlds for human beings. As many rats are there on the planet, there are those many worlds for those rats out there. As many fish are floating or swimming in the seas and the oceans, those many worlds exist for them. As many microbes are out there, that many number of worlds exist for those microbes. I'm talking simple logic, which we fail to understand. And is it difficult to upgrade your mind? No. The best part is, I have a Windows laptop. So Windows has been constantly upgrading. I have a version 10. So now every day, every second day, it prompts me. You go on to Windows 11. But my question to each one of you out there is, are you developing a new version of mind for yourself? Or are you still operating with the mindset which you got when you were born? Are you still using that obsolete software to run your mind? If you are, your life is hell. And if you have upgraded your mind, your life can be heaven. Where can this upgradation occur? It has to occur in my laptop. I need to load Windows 11 on my laptop. Loading it on Sanju's laptop here will not improve the quality of performance of my laptop. So this program, this upgraded version, it has to be programmed inside your head. Who will do it? You have to do it. How? To the five senses. If you want to bring it from outside, to the five senses. In India, in Hinduism, in the yoga and the Sankhya philosophy, we believe that all knowledge is within. The knowledge which you are getting from the world outside is called sensory knowledge. It is limited. Our senses are limited. My eyes can see particular frequencies. My ears can hear particular frequencies. My nose can smell particular smells. My tongue can taste in a range of certain sweetness, spiciness. There's a limit. My skin can handle a range of temperatures. If I put minus 200 degrees centigrade on my skin, what will happen? Nobody has tried to do it. Do it. And then you will see the limitations of the senses. So out of limitation of the senses, out of limitation of the words, for that data which manages to come in through that limited senses, out of uncontrolled programming done by my father, my mother, my relatives, I have created a superstructure, which we say man is the most superior animal on this planet. He is the biggest fool on the planet. He has created unwanted destruction. Just by having money, you don't have a higher version of the mind. Money will not buy it for you. You need to go inside. In our philosophy, both yoga and Sankhya philosophy, it is said the conscious mind also behaves like a sensing organ. So there are 11 senses. 5 of sensing, perceiving knowledge, 5 of action, and the 11th is the manas, which is the conscious mind. The conscious mind can look outside, and the conscious mind can also look inside. In our philosophy, we say these senses, these 5 senses of eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin, or if I may say, of sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. They operate both outside us and also inside us. You can see certain images inside you. So who's showing it to you? You can hear certain sounds inside you. Who's speaking to you? You can at times even See videos running inside your head in the dream. Who's putting it there? You. Only you. Only you exist alone. Not because of wrong, foolish belief systems, because of the limitation of senses, because of the words to which wrong meanings, incomplete meanings have been attributed as understanding of reality, just because your minds have been conditioned by the religion, place where you're born, you are trapped. You are trapped in this prison. And to break this prison and come out is liberation, is moksha, is freedom, is nirvana, uh, absolute independence. We need to break that. It was essential at one point of time when I was a baby, but it is no longer essential for me to use my Windows with the first version which was loaded. I can change my version. I can even break free of Windows. Why should I use Windows? Why should I use a laptop? What do I need in the world outside? If the world needs me, they will come to me. If the world does not need me, they will not bother about me. I might be dying on the street. Not a single man will come and take me. So to get liberated from this trap is moksha. It requires a sadhana, a practice, which is very simple, which anybody can do on the planet and get liberated. So, Sanju, I think that answers your question on moksha and liberation with in my perspective, law of detail,